Is anybody here? Whoops. Gonna wait for people to show up. Just gonna wait for some people to show up. If you know anybody that would like my videos, please share them. Please like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Going to tell a couple people that I'm live. Anybody here? Is anybody going to show up? Oh my gosh, why does this do this? Well, somebody's here. Share my video, guys, if anybody's here. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just letting some people know that I'm live so we can get started. Who's here? Let me know who you are. I'm live. Well, okay. Today I want to talk about cravings and obsession. I'm live. Okay. Today I'm craving. It's one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because I am craving using. I'm not sure why. It probably doesn't matter why. It's just a fact. And one of the ways that I can tell that I'm craving is that I want to, I keep thinking, oh, I need to eat something. I need to eat something. And I got this craving for something. I just don't know what it is. And I stop and realize I'm trying to fill a need, and I'm craving, and that's what's going on. And so then therefore I try to do things that will get my mind off of it. And, even though I've been clean for 5 years, I still get these days where I feel this way. A lot of it's in my own mind. Like a lot of it, I have too much pressure on myself. I'm a very clean and neat person. If I look around and I see any kind of mess, it causes stress and anxiety in me. And so a lot of times it's anxiety because of my thoughts. And so I guess, knowing what our triggers are, being aware of it, and just being like, okay, this is what's going on. And how am I going to combat this? And one of the differences between craving and obsession is cravings come and they go. Like they'll come on, but they don't last. They come and they go very quickly. And the obsession is with you all the time. And after you've been in recovery for a while and you've been practicing things, the obsession usually lessens. Now, for me, the first 2 years I was clean, that obsession stayed all the time. And that's one of the reasons I went on Suboxone after 2 years, is because I was just, it was like I was either going to go on Suboxone or I was just going to say fuck it and give up and relapse. That's how intense it was. I obsessed about using, obsessed, like it probably 1,000 times a day. It was horrible. And that I can understand like why people relapse the way that they do, because the obsession is so, like, you can't fight it. It's so intense. And so, it could last, who knows how long, the obsession, but the important thing is that, that we fill our time, in early recovery, when the obsession is really strong, that we are doing recovery related things, and we are in some sort of, whether it's therapy, whether it's Alcoholics Anonymous, whether it's Narcotics Anonymous, whether it's through our church, something that we need support, and we need to be growing in our recovery. We can't stay where we're at, or we can't fight that beast. The beast of addiction is so strong. We cannot fight it on our own. And oh my gosh, why does it keep doing that? I think there's a short in that thing. But that's one of the reasons why I started this channel, was because I wanted to be there for people who are in recovery, because I have clean time, and I want people to know that it is possible to fight this beast. But you always have to have your armor on, and you always have to have your sword ready, because it will hit. It will. You know what? Anybody that has seen Lord of the Rings, and especially the last one, where those armies are coming and it's fighting for days, and it's like you just, it's this overwhelming darkness that wants to come onto our souls, and it will drag us down if we don't keep fighting. And we need people to help us keep our arms raised, keep us standing against this insidiousness of addiction. I have, there's a girl that's in AA. Hold on a second. I gotta see what's going on with this. Whoops. With this thing. Yeah, there's a girl in AA that I know, and she's an addict. She's a heroin and crack addict. Set this up here. And she has relapsed a couple months ago. And so I sent her a message this morning, and I was thinking about her. And I said to her, I know you're struggling, and I know I have the same beast inside of me that you have inside of you. And I know that I'm here to help you. I understand. And it's so important. And that's what, why I started this channel. I want people to know that I understand the fight. I am not just, I'm not plugging rehabs. I'm not plugging any particular self-help group, AA or NA. I'm not plugging any of that stuff. But what I am trying to do is I'm trying to be here for people who are struggling, who are in recovery, and who need support. And because I know how important it is. There are a lot of us who are antisocial, who aren't, or don't go to meetings and don't go, and to therapy or anything like that. and we are alone. And that is one of the biggest downfalls, I think, for a lot of us, is that we try to fight this battle on our own. And they always say that addiction it's not just an island. You need the help of other people and their support. And they're, like me, I don't like to reach out for help. I don't like to tell people when I'm struggling. I mean, I never call my sponsor. I mean, once in a while I call her. Not because I don't think I need her. It's that I'm older. I guess it's hard to teach old dogs new tricks. Like, I have been alone and have been doing things on my own my whole life. And so for me to grasp the concept that I need to be calling someone every day and talking about myself is really difficult. So, when I see her at my home group meeting, she's always like, Avalon, call me, call me, call me. I'm like, I know. But I always feel like, what is she going to tell me that I don't already know? That is so wrong of me to think. Full close while I'm talking. I was hoping more people would show up. Who's here with me? It says somebody's here. One person is here with me. You want to introduce yourself, make yourself known, that'd be nice. Ask questions, comment. Maybe it's because it's the holidays. Not many people are busy, maybe. But yeah, like I'm craving today, and I was like, so a part of me wanted to clam up about it and not say anything. And I came out and I was like, Bernie, I'm craving, and and so I thought, I'm gonna make a video, because normally when I'm going through something, if I get on and I'm talking to you guys, it helps me. It helps me to come out of myself and to think of others. That's what I want to do. Well, I don't know what else to say. If nobody's going to be asking me questions or talking, or yeah, I just took a second dose of serving of kratom, which I don't normally do. I usually just take one serving in the morning. But I thought, you know what? I'm craving, and maybe I'll just take some kratom and see if that helps. And that's part of my toolbox. People talk about toolboxes in recovery. What are your tools to help yourself if you're going through something? And kratom is one of my tools. I'm not on Suboxone anymore. Suboxone is a tool in recovery, but I do things a natural way here. But it's a tool, and it's like, why not use it if I have it, And it can help probably take some of the edge off of my craving. Another thing that I do is I try to keep busy. I was saying, if I see messes, like I have been so OCD my whole life about being clean. And I still am. It's just I'm older and I don't have the energy that I used to have to keep my house as clean as I used to. I mean, it's still, when you walk in, it looks clean. But you could be able to eat off my floors, guys. I'm telling you, I used to be, and I had 3 kids under the age of 4. And so for me to keep, it was a constant full-time job, taking care of my 3 children, my husband, and keeping my house spotless. I moved furniture every day and vacuumed underneath. I mop my floors every day. Like now I'm lucky if I get my kitchen floor mopped once a week. Oh, but I, it's just, I have to learn acceptance. That's another thing. Like, acceptance is a tool. I need to accept the fact that I'm 53. I've had cancer and chemo and addiction. I'm not the same person I was when I was 25. And I'm not probably never going to be back to that. But I have another thing is I have a friend who is a sub of mine. She's a subscriber. She's got a child that's an active addiction, and she's been going through it. And God, I feel for her, and I would, I would love to be able to talk to her son, her kid, and just talk about, I understand that what you're going through. I understand, I don't mean to be, and I don't want to be a doom and gloomer about addiction, and what I mean by that is I don't come on my channel and pretend that life is just rosy and sweet, and jumping through fields of daisies and stuff, because that's not the case for me. My life is better than it used to be. I have relative happiness, but it's not, you're not going to find me all cheerful and happy-go-lucky all the time. I go through it. I relied on a substance my entire life. I'm 53 years old. And for me to not use feels, what is the word? Abnormal. My normal is escape. My normal is put something in me to take me out of myself. So for me not to use, even after 5 years, goes against, even now, goes against what my body and my mind want. Like my body and I can't fold the sheet when I'm sitting down, but my body and my mind were used to escaping for a lot of years, even before opiates. Like when I was younger, I found cocaine very enjoyable, and I found meth. It was called crank back then, back in the early 80s, mid 80s. And I found that very enjoyable. I was just realizing that, boy, life is so much easier when I put something in me. I also realized it when I was young, when my mother would feed me things to make me more compliant for the abuse I was about ready to endure. And so it's always been a part of who I am, just to escape. And I wish like hell that I knew about addiction back then, but the thing is, even if we know about addiction, it's not like, oh, I just need to be more educated, then I wouldn't have been an addict. I'm not sure if I believe that, but I sure the hell think I was born an addict. The uncomfortableness in my own skin that I felt from the beginning. And I know that I was abused, but there was never happiness or joy that I remember feeling as a child. Just an overall discontent in my soul. Even when I had my kids, and it was like they were my life and they were my passion. I never was a happy person. I was always struggling emotionally. And so I think that I was born an addict, and I was born like I've always needed something to take me out of the uncomfortableness in my own skin. And I know that not all addicts experience that. They may have had a happy life before starting, breaking their leg and getting put on opiates, and they became an addict. Um, I'm sure that happens a lot, but for me, I was never happy. I always, and so I believe that I was born to be an addict, not an alcoholic. I don't have an issue with alcohol. Never have. I mean, I partied, um, but it's never been an issue for me. And but when I put an opiate in my body, something happens, something magical. It takes me away from that uncomfortableness in my own skin. Just that being alive brings me. Just existing is hard. You know, a lot of people talk about being in the now, and how right now in this moment it's okay, everything's okay. But not for a person like me. Sometimes each moment is so uncomfortable that there's a desperation to escape that. I mean, I wish you guys would be talking to me. I'd love to see who's here and talk. I can't be the only one who experiences that. I have to remind myself sometimes when I'm acting miserable, Avalon, you have so much to be thankful for. Why are you being such a miserable bitch? And I feel sorry for Bernie, because he's a happy-go-lucky guy, and he's with like Miss Queen of Depression, you know. Luckily, the microdosing and the kratom help, but it doesn't cure it completely. And I still have these days, where I want to use, and when I think of somebody that's relapsed and that they're using and they have something at their disposal, I crave. I wish I were them. I mean, these are the thoughts that go through my mind. That's why I can't watch Intervention or anything like that, because I start, oh boy, look how wonderful they feel. They don't have any discomfort. They're feeling wonderful. And that's, the thing that opiates, cocaine did for me was it made life euphoric. It made life, I didn't have that weight of miserableness weighing me down. And, so, and I don't even know, like, I hate to say this, but I think that if it wasn't for Bernie, I would not be here. I would not be clean 5 years. If I was just relying on myself to keep myself clean, I don't think I would have been able to do it. I knew, he told me from the very beginning, he made me be clean a year before he would even date me. And he told me from day one, you use and we're done. And he means it. He's not just holding that over my head as some way to control me. He means it. And I know he means it. And I also know that his positivity and his Like he is Mr. AA. He is Mr. Recovery. And he has pounded stuff into me and helped me challenge stuff. And if he's my accountability, I'm accountable to him. If I do something to fuck our relationship up, like I'm accountable to him. I know that bad things will happen if I use. And that biggest, baddest thing would be to lose Bernie, to lose everything that I've gained. And my grandson. Like I think that they're not your only reasons to stay clean, but they are incentives to stay clean. And so that when that craving and that obsession is there, and you can play it forward, playing the tape forward and saying, "Hey, Liz, I'm talking to myself." People are there, but they're not talking. So I know that, when that obsession or that craving is there, that if I act on that oh my God, I got a shit ton to lose. And so playing that tape forward and saying, all right, so if I decide that I'm going to use, then this is what's going to happen. Am I willing to? Because, believing that, just one more time thing, we all know that doesn't work, or he will never know. Like, I have a conscience now. I have a conscience. And for me to go behind his back, I couldn't do it. I couldn't live with myself. And I wouldn't be able to hide it for very long. I've never been one of those nodder outers on heroin. Like, I wasn't all the nod now. I was like energy. That's how opiates always affected me. I shoot that stuff into me and I'm like zing, and I'm like happy and energetic and cleaning and going out and shopping and just all happy and like up. And I was doing up to 4 or 5 bags at a time, and I did not nod out. The more I did, the more up I got. It's just how my system works. And so I don't know that he would even notice that I was using. But you know what would start being noticed? Money being spent. Bills not getting paid. And that's how it started before. My money was gone. Listen, anybody that's on SSI, your money is deposited into your account, onto your card, about 1:00 in the morning on the day it's supposed to be put into your account. 1:00 in the morning, I had drug dealers set up. He knew he was coming to my house at 1:00 in the morning. He was taking me to the bank, and my money was gone before I even had it, before I even got it. And so, money would start, I would start not having any money. I would start having to borrow money. I would start, that would be one of the first signs that something bad was happening. And stealing money. Like he leaves his wallet laying out all the time. And I often think about, boy, I would have taken him to the cleaners. I would have taken him for a ride, before leaving your wallet out like that. And that would only, you only can do that a couple times before somebody catches on. You know what I mean? So, so it's not like he would notice right at first, but my conscience would know. And so, I using is just not an option. Whether I'm craving, whether it's the obsession, it's just not an option. Too much to lose. My self-respect, I mean, I'm an older lady, and you know, when I lost it. If you go on my Facebook, Avalon and Decker, if you have Facebook, if you want to send me a friend request, let me know. Message me and let me know that you're a sub of mine, because I don't normally accept new friends unless I know who they are or whatever. So message me and say, you know, you saw this video and you're a sub of mine. And go on and you can look back at my photos going back 5 years, well, 6 years ago now, and look at what I looked like then. I lost 85 pounds. I was thin. I was hot. They used to say, because my oldest son's named Matthew, and they say, Matthew's mama's got it going on. And I did. And I used it, you know, but I used it to sell my ass for drugs. I mean, not even for money, for drugs. I lost all self-respect, robbing and stealing from people, asking neighbors to borrow money that I didn't even barely, you know, spoke to. Just pathetic. I was a pathetic person, and I didn't see myself as a pathetic person. I just thought, oh, look how good I look, and I still have, you know, I look at, at least I didn't go to jail, you know, all these not yet, but, you know, listen, I mean, I know I don't look the part. I used to, drug dealers used to think I was a cop. I didn't look the part. I didn't look like a typical drug addict. But believe me, my drug addiction was about as bad as it could get. There was nothing I wouldn't do. There was nothing I would not do for drugs. So when I tell you that I understand. And I just because I mean, I didn't go to jail, but God, it was just a matter of time. They were wanting me. They would come up into my house all the time. So just because I didn't go to jail yet does not mean that it wasn't bad, because it was. I was just older and a little bit more sneaky and good at hiding stuff. But it's important that if you're craving, and like I said in the beginning of the video, Liz, are you still here? The difference between craving and obsession is that obsession is like just what it sounds. Just your mind, you cannot think of anything else. You have this drive, you have to use. All you think about, it drives you. And when you're, you know, when you're in active addiction, or you're first coming into recovery, that obsession is pretty damn strong. And a craving is just, it comes on right out of nowhere times. It doesn't always last very long. So just know that this will pass. This too shall pass. Talk to somebody, help somebody. Like I'm craving today. I'm on here doing a video because I want to help somebody, so I get out of myself. And, you know, because I always get happy when I come on here, and then I know I'm helping others. All right. Well, you guys are all probably doing Christmas and holiday stuff. Normally I get a few more on my live streams, but it's okay. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Please give the video a like and subscribe if you haven't. And is there anything else? Brightest blessings and God is blessed.